Hello and welcome back to episode number 2 of the No Punt Intended podcast. Big week one, a lot of upsets, a lot of bad picks by us that we'll get to later. But the agenda for today, obviously, I'll go over week one for Sports Deck, our league, the Goats League. Go over our picks unwillingly, but we have to. And then the boys have got some segments at the end that we went through last week. Bex has got one now as well, so everyone's got one. But Tom,
can't be any worse than how it went last week.
How's the Browns, mate, getting a win? My boys, your boys, how was it?
No, I don't even follow the Browns really. I don't even care. I just got the hat, but
you've jumped off.
No, it was good. They actually, that was the first time they had a week one win since I saw a thing that when the Browns posted on Twitter that they won, that was the first time that they posted it because the last time they'd won before week one, Twitter wasn't even invented. So that was pretty cool. But no, it was a pretty interesting week one. Pretty shit by me, but hey, that's how these things go.
Bex, what did you take out of week one? Any surprises?
Joe likes to let me down. First play, first throw, pick six. That's about how the rest of the week went as well. So
he didn't stop there either, did he? No. Scotty, any stats stood out to you, mate?
I was pretty happy with how my stat went last week. The old home underdogs, I think it was 7 from 10 for the week. So people got on and hopefully got a bit of cash from that. But yeah, big week from the underdogs. A lot of good games as well. So good to have NFL back.
Yeah, usually like that week one. And Danny D, what's the fresh cut?
I've cleaned it up, boys. I've had a shocking shocking week of NFL betting, that's for sure. Yeah, back to your tips, Scotty, your stats. The Browns said stuff you to that, didn't they, mate? So, yeah, tough week for all of us, but, happy the Giants and Saquon's back. Just say a quick prayer for all injuries, but yeah.
Look, we aren't tanking right already, week one.
Yeah, look,
but
the duel likes the Giants, so we'll see how we go there.
Anyway, all right, we'll get into Sports Deck. That's our first thing off the rank, so we'll have a look how we went there. Now, I've unwillingly got my team up because, well, at least Tom actually did 2 or 3 points less than me, but it wasn't a good week one for me. Made a couple of late changes, which definitely stuffed me up. Mike Williams I was always having, but T. Higgins getting the KO. I did have Pittman, I think, for him at one point, but I didn't have Chase, so I sort of wanted some Bengals cover, but that wasn't to be. And then not having Saquon really, I guess, was the big one, wasn't it, boys? So
yeah,
I think most people got to find a way to Saquon, and that's probably the hard part. Do you do it this week or do you wait, Bex? What are you got Saquon, or are you looking to get him this week?
Nah, Saquon was probably my biggest miss of week one. Other than A-Rob, all my wide receivers are okay. So I think a lot of people are going down from like a CD or something to fund a rookie RB up to Saquon, but I can't really do that. So I think Eckler down to Saquon might be my best go, but I'm definitely not doing that this week. I'll do that next week with another week's of data.
Yeah. I think Pierce would be the running back to go. I think.
Yeah, his usage was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
First week, he only really got early downs, and even Rex had more early downs than him. So apparently he was sort of nursing a hammy, so maybe they're just easing him in. But yeah, week one was pretty bad from him.
The other boys go. How'd you go, Dan? I think you went pretty well.
Yeah, I think I scored the most out of all of us, so not too bad actually. Nice. I took a couple of chances on
Stop the cap, Dan.
I think Bex ranked better than all of you.
I think Bex did. Bex, because he put his in late, but
did he? Oh, okay, whatever. Anyway, top 2. I'll take that. Yeah, I think I'm same. So I'm on the CD boat. So with Dak going out, I don't trust. Sorry, Cooper Rush throwing to CD as well. They looked a bit sort of iffy, that offense as well, to get going against the Bucs. So I think CD down to probably MT, and then I'll probably go a Pierce up to maybe a sack. I don't know if I want to risk it that early. I mean, it is one game, but yeah, I would like to see the data, but no, I'm doing it.
Scotty, how'd you go, mate? I think you went not too bad.
Yeah, I think it was 1,000 108 for the week, so 515 I think I got. But yeah, I think just always week one, don't react, let a week go past. But yeah, the ones I'm really watching, or the one that really worried me was Derek Henry. I paid out the big dollars and pretty rubbish performance. So
the king,
we'll
more
see.
like the
20
jester.
mil.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes this week. If not, I might just go down to Saquon, I think. But
Yeah.
and then CD as well was the other one that really cost me. But yeah, it's more Derek Henry watch this week because he cost the 20 mil. So we'll see how he goes this week.
Henry versus the Bills, probably playing from behind.
Yeah, I don't
not
know
ideal
about
this
that.
week.
Yeah, not.
Good luck to you. I'll say a prayer.
Tom, I know you love this format, but how did you go, mate? Thankfully, as I said, you scored 3 worse than me because I was very bad as well.
Same as you. I'm a bit different to Scotty. Instead of sit on the hands, it's all code red out here. So like I had Mike Williams, CD, and A Rob combined for 14 between the three of them, which was a killer. And then I had Pierce on the field, as well as having Eckler as my RB2. So, look, I nailed like Josh Allen and Herb. I think that's a good combo there. I think Gabe Davis actually a pretty good pick also. But yeah, definitely looking to trade Pierce straight to Saquon. And I'll probably have to get some other changes there as well. But yeah, I think NFL, you just got to just make the call early.
Yep. Well, it's 26 trades in 18 weeks, so I think it's like 1.5 trades a week you can use roughly. So why not just
get rid of the junk?
Like, and there's boost there as well. Like,
how good's seeing that little red man?
I would be trading Derrick Henry like week one stuff.
Yeah,
he's washed.
Off that shit too.
Done.
I'm waiting.
All right, that's how long. I mean, I'll quickly maybe bring up the most traded in if I can find it because it's always interesting.
OJ Howard or something.
It's always interesting week one. So traded out CD Lamb. That makes sense. Cam Akers. Total sense. A-Rob, we can probably wait on one more week against the Falcons. I'm happy to do so.
The Bills really put their game plan around that backside dig. They always had someone sitting there trying to block it off. So it really hurt A-Rob's role.
Yeah. He was still on the field heaps and ran a lot of routes. So hopefully
95% snaps or something. So
yeah, hopefully just looks his way. Pitts is a weird one. If you started him, I don't know why you'd be trading him out after one, but look, the rest probably makes sense. They're pretty average picks. Traded in, doesn't make no surprise. Sacks there, MT's there. Do we all have MT? Anyone miss out on him?
Me,
me. I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay, right. So just you wait one more week, I guess, and then try and get him from your worst cheap one, whoever that is. Duvernay, Bex. This is coming up later.
I see two names there, Howard and Duvernay, that are just absolute rats.
The OJ's back.
OJ Howard ran like 6 routes for the whole game.
Mr. Red Zone.
Not sustainable.
Yeah, no. Pacheco is another strange one. Probably not somewhere you'd go after 1 week.
He only played because it was a blowout late. He played in the last quarter.
He looked all right, though.
Yeah, he has talent.
Yes.
He doesn't have the role.
It's just too murky. And then JJ, everyone who somehow missed out on the absolute king that he is getting him in. And that makes sense. So, all right.
Be a captain option at some point.
He's insane.
Yeah, after that first game, he was insane.
Absolutely insane. All right, that's how long we spent on Sports Tech. Let's get into the Goats League because there's actually some interesting and some drama already from week one. All right, I see 2 L's here. Me and Dan not putting up the most points of all time. Me just barely scraping the ton, and Dan not even getting there. So
double digits.
Look, we could talk about my team first because it's absolutely in the mud at the moment. Dak with the hand injury out for 2 months. Eckler, look, 1 week, but his usage isn't looking as good. Like they used, I think, four running backs in that game. And like he totaled half the touches and the other 3 combined for like the other half of the touches. So that's concerning. Elijah dead as well for 2 months with a knee. Pittman, I target him a lot. So look, at least I got him. T. Higgins with the concussion. Dalton Schultz was attached to my quarterback. DJ Moore, still maybe have a little bit of faith there, but Baker didn't play too well. Elijah Moore as well with the Jets. So look, my team is in absolute shambles. You'll see when I put the match up for this week what it's looking like, and it's not too great, but lost the Doers week 1, and he was texting me telling me all about it.
How you feeling fading the QB and ending up with Dak?
Well, I didn't fade it completely. Like Scotty sniped me, Jalen Hurts, one pick before, and I was flat at the time. I knew that's what I wanted, and he got him. So if I had Hurts, obviously it wouldn't be as bad. But with Dak out for 2 months and the replacement options, it's not looking pretty. Dan, how about you, mate?
Yeah, look, if your team was shambles, mine's an absolute dog's breakfast, that's for sure, mate. I don't even know where to start. So Mixon, like, I started off okay, and then A-Rod just, absolutely.
Oh, wait, he's got 3. Oh.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? I no words for that. That's Aaron Rodgers. That's an MVP coming back and scoring 3 points. A-Rob, yeah, look, I'm not going to sort of go hectic with that one. Like I said, we all touched it. He played 95% of snaps, and they're playing the Falcons this week. So Bex is already trying to trade for him, so Bex can get stuffed. No chance now. And the other one was Irvin Smith. Like Scotty was saying. Yeah, he played 19 snaps or something. I was like, what a joke. And I ended up benching Hurts, who actually scored a touchdown. But either way, I would have lost that game. My team is absolute shambles. The flex spots. Tyson Hill had more touches than Kamara. You can't write this stuff. Like, come on. And he's got some rib issue. My team is an absolute disgrace at the moment, and I'm playing Scotty this week as well, so it's just going to be an absolute bloodbath. But we'll see. Anything's possible.
We'll see. All right, Alex Bex can talk about a win.
Got a dub on the board. Got a bit lucky here. He had Akers with the donut first up on which sort of gave me the leg up, and then he had Paddy and Clyde sort of claw it back, but then I'd Sack at the end. Sack second half was immense.
Yeah,
had the huge run, the touchdown, and the 2-point conversion to win the game. So that sort of brought it home for me. I had Penny in the last game, but I was already ahead before then. So
he started well, Penny, but didn't score well.
The usage was weird. Like I was expecting Seattle to be a lot more run heavy, like they have been in the past, but they actually went pass heavy with Geno, and Geno was decent.
Geno cool.
So,
jeez.
Top 5 running back, you were calling Penny during the game, mate. He got 7.7.
I love me some Penny.
Yeah. He had a big run call back for holding. I was
It's always the if buts.
Yep.
All right, this is what we want to hear about. The matchup between this is how it ended up.
Clutched up.
Let's go.
I could not believe it already.
It was great. It came down to, I think, into the last game, I think Scotty was up by 8, and I had Jerry, and he had Sutton. And Judy getting the 75? How was 65 yard?
64-yard touchdown or something? Yeah,
TD, absolutely huge. And then Sutton, they both got the exact same amount of targets. So pretty good match. I really was never worried. And there's nothing better than seeing Scotty having Zeke and crapping all over him. And Zeke was the one who let him down. Look, for me, pretty good having JA. Diggs and then the Bills defense absolutely cook. Dawson Knox. I was pretty lucky. Cordell absolutely killed it. So my team, considering that Dobbins wasn't playing and I've got Hopkins to come back at some point, team's looking actually not too bad.
Scotty, what's the thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I would have betting everyone else in the league. It's just unlucky week, but it is what it is. There's some positives and negatives. Obviously, Zeke, rubbish. Bobby Woods, rubbish. And I also had some good players on the bench, which is very annoying. So I had MT originally, then I heard things around his hamstring and maybe not playing. So then I pulled him out. I swapped him with Hunt. And then I had Carson Wentz, which I would have never picked. I think he got 27 or 28, whatever it was. So I had a few people on the bench, but I think our team's looking all right. Just one of those weeks, but still pretty good. Cup went off, which is good because I was a bit worried about picking him first, but actually had a really big game. So I think the team looking all right. Just got to put a few MT on this week and then see what happens. But we got Dan this week, so we got the bye, so he should be all right.
I think the team's good. It's just probably running back, but it's not like Zeke isn't going to play. He's still going to get a decent workload, and maybe he gets more now with Dak being out. They maybe lean on him more.
Game.
AJ Dillon looks pretty good as well. So no, I think your team's actually looking good. So can't be too upset. All right, on to this week. So Tom's got Jules. Any real decisions? I think maybe Dobbins.
It's just Dobbins.
Yeah.
So pretty much Dobbins, whether he plays or not. Otherwise, I'm going to play Rexy Burkhead.
Hey, he wasn't
Bex's
bad.
man.
Yeah,
He
Bex.
actually wasn't bad at all. Bex calling that one actually wasn't too bad there. But that's probably the biggest thing that I have to decide there. So just got to hope that CD can now just somehow do well with Rush's QB.
Yep. Bex, you got Doers, so
Yeah, might be a tricky matchup. I'm hopeful Amari Cooper has another struggle game, but just that the last flex spot's a bit of a question mark. So I had Penny in the spot, but I think San Fran's run defense is pretty solid. I mean, they allowed Monty only 1.5 yards a carry last week. So I've got Julio Jones in there for now, but there's a few other wide receivers on my bench. I've got Drake London, who looked promising. Picked up Curtis Samuel off waivers, so I'm still tossing up that last flex spot. But I think the rest of the team's looking solid.
yeah. Just quickly, tell people why you've got Derek in the flex as well.
Just because of the timing. So you want the people to play the earliest in your locked-in spots, like that have to be your RB or wide receiver. So because Derek plays on the Tuesday in the last game, he's in the flex spot in case he's laid out, so I can put anyone else in any position in.
Clever.
So, like, if you got Friday Chargers, Chiefs, chuck them in. Make sure they're in the top, designated spots. Jared Goff is my QB1. So this is a bit of a disaster. Look, Goff will be okay. It's Cooper Rush at QB2. That's
on rush hour.
And I might not even play him, to be honest. Like, we'll see. They are at home, I believe. Oh, no. Are they at home? No.
Yeah, they are.
So
They are.
I might just give him a go week 1. His first, start, or not first start ever, but for this year, and see how he goes. I got like DJ Chark on the bench, Isaiah McKenzie, and look, you maybe can luck some touchdowns there, but maybe I'll just give the QB a go. Got my name's Jeff. Luckily, I picked him up off waivers, I think, before week 1 even started, and Elijah gets injured, so that was very lucky. And hopefully he gets a big role, which he has in the past, but maybe not as big these days, but we'll see. And then, I just got to hopefully T plays as well, because I'll need him to have a big one against Dallas as well. But look, Chiz isn't looking too great himself. He's not in great shape. As he had Akers last week. He's obviously moved him to the bench. Kittle's question mark. Najee.
They say Najee might play, actually. So
yeah, he might play. But like Gordon, his team's probably better on mine than mine on paper, I'd say maybe, but it's got to all come together, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And then the matchup for this week between two of you boys is Danny and Scott. So look,
honestly,
the projections have it as a bloodbath.
Scott's green bar should be like.
Yeah, why isn't it more than that? Because that is 20
know,
off projections.
honestly.
I'm looking at Dan building. Who's Warren?
Who's Warren? This is me hoping. This is what my team's come to already, and it's week 2 for God's sake. Jalen Warren is the backup for Najee. So if Najee's out, he'll get most touches. But
who's on your bench?
Oh mate, don't start. Devontae Parker.
Surely someone can.
Like no, it's rubbish. It's not good. It's not good. Trust me, it's not good at all. I have 3 tight ends.
Andre?
Like.
Didn't the Pats use about 4 running backs as well?
Yeah, he didn't get as much looks as I would have liked.
It's actually the worst team I've ever seen.
It was pretty crap, but yeah,
that is horrific. That team.
I have no idea. Keenan Allen out as well hurts me.
Yeah,
so
okay, that makes sense.
So he's out.
Makes sense. Okay,
but
so
Scotty should absolutely win this. If he doesn't, I'm ready. But he should win this. He should win this.
Light work.
Confident, Ben?
Yeah, pretty confident. Only really changes I've done is just the 2 people who scored 20 last week on the bench. So MT on. Wentz still worries me a bit, but Tannehill against the Bills, I don't think that's much better. So I'll ride Wentz out. But yeah, pretty happy with the team. Got some good matchups in there. So yeah. And we're going to buy this week anyway, so it should be right.
No, he's gone with it again.
He's recycled it. You've recycled it. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Jesus.
boy.
He's happy with it too. Look at him.
He's
Wentz is flinging
his new headset.
Yeah.
Professional now, boys.
No, boys, this is going to hurt, but we have to go through our week 1 results. So not something we all want to look at, but there's only one of us in the positives, and it is Bem. It is Bem. He's got 2 picks in there, but we went 0-5 on the big box. So
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Absolute terrible start. Raiders Chargers, that didn't go over. Derek threw like 4 picks and just, I think they were 10 points shy. The Giants got up, so the homer pick actually got up in the end, and that was probably lucky too that we sort of turned it on the second half. And then the Broncos, that was very hard to watch. I watched that whole game, and 2 fumbles on the goal line, and just every penalty you can imagine, like 12, I think it ended up being for like 100 and something yards. So yeah, that was a disaster, but at least we got 1 pick on the board, which can't really be said for Tom.
Nah, well, what did the home dogs go? Was it like 7
from 10?
7 from 10, right? So I've got the Cards
Pick
and
2
the
of them.
Rams as two home dogs, and those 2 are the ones that go down of that stat. So that's just absolute. Of course, that's what happened. Look, reflecting on them both, Cards picked. I don't know what I was thinking there now, looking at how they were playing. Their defense absolutely horrific, and the Chiefs look actually pretty good. Rams, well, that was just a Bills. Bills look great as well, so I probably shouldn't have picked against probably the 2 best teams in the league. And then that Niners game was absolute just mess. I didn't realize it was going to be an absolute monsoon when I made the pick. For anyone who took the minus 20.5, which I was saying to outline and mortgage your house on, I apologize for that. I lost my dough, so don't worry. But yeah, surely can't be any worse this week.
You got one, Dan. The Vikings, your division pick as well. They're looking good.
Quite high on that one, yeah. I mean, A-Rod looked pretty average. He didn't have any sort of faith in Watson and Dubes. They had their chances, but then after that, you just threw to Tunyon, and after that, they were just nowhere. But they look really good. The Vikings are quite happy with them. The Rams, same with Tom. Yeah, just no comment there. The Saints one, look, they scrapped out the win, but
they started better. It would have been
the Falcons actually started quite well, but then once Jameis started to get going, MT started to get going. Look, they got the dub in the end, but look, we'll cop it there. It hurts, but yeah, oh well, what can you do there?
Yeah, there's a lot of close ones. So the big minus lines on the faves just didn't really work. All right, Scotty, the home underdogs, mate. The week 1 stat, and it got you 2 picks, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so the Texans and both Steelers and the Texans games were really, really tight, which is really good. I think the only one that we missed out was the Jags, obviously. I think they were up into the 3rd quarter, and then they just choked. I think Wentz went off. So it went pretty well. Home underdogs, 7 from 10 this week, so I was pretty happy with that. So very similar stat this week, but yeah, underdogs first week, played really well. So the home crowd obviously played a factor in that, but very happy with the first week. 2-1, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, week 1 always throws up the random results. So definitely a good stat. Bex, the unders, mate. It was the one that.
The unders. It was sort of good on both sides of the ball. I think Pat's offense is just horrific. Matt Patricia, what are they doing? It's an absolute disgrace. And then Dolphins' defense is pretty good. And then on the other side of the ball, Pat's defense is always really solid. So that got up fairly easily. But then the other 2, the Cowboys, were an utter disgrace. Their run defense was pathetic. KFC Lenny just ran all over them. Yeah. And then the other side of the ball, you man up Lamb, you double him, and they've got no one else. So. And then Dak got injured, but that didn't have an impact. It was already game over. And then smoking Joe Burrow.
The old Bengals.
That first half was so painful to watch. I think he ended up with 4 turnovers or something.
They should have won as well.
A bunch of kicks, a fumble. And they actually utterly dominated the second half. They could have easily won this by over a touchdown if they had a half-decent first half. And then, Chase could have had 4 touchdowns. He kept touching the line or being an inch away, and then the snapper stuff up and the kickers missed. So just an absolute shit show.
All the kickers missed. It was an absolute shit show, really.
Other than the goat, Specs is gone.
Yeah, Specs gone.
Spec. Good.
Even the Steelers missed in that game as well. It's like they should have won.
Yeah, they had a chance.
Bengals, How the Giants won. But yeah. I don't know. Is there any good kickers left in the league? What's going on?
York. There you go.
All right, we'll move on. We got to get to week 2 and move on from the week 1 results because that was
wipe all that red off the board.
So I've got the all the odds and the over unders here. So anything quickly stand out to anyone as being off, or you think
I feel like there's a lot of lower total lines.
Totals, yeah.
I think some of the
Yeah.
offenses really struggled, so they've brought the lines down a bit. There's not too many over 50.
That Rams line is just, I don't know. I wouldn't
Crazy
even like
big.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
10.5.
we're big, yeah.
But I wouldn't still take the Falcons.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
not going to
funny
touch the
one, like-
Falcons, but
you
that is
don't,
weird.
don't go
Yeah.
for the Falcons,
but,
the Rams
but
offensive
yeah, I
line
saw
was so bad.
I saw the 10.5. I was like, whoa, because the Rams look terrible.
Yep.
Well,
I
not
can make-
terrible, but just.
I can make the same argument for the Bears plus 9.5 against the Packers. I know A-Rod plays them really well, but I just after seeing that game how they play, I just think that's it's pretty juicy at 9.5.
I don't know. It was a funny game, that Vikings game. Like Watson dropped the 75-yarder TD.
Yes.
Went straight through his hands. You can't see Rodgers being that poor again, especially at home.
Yeah, and
It's
the
not
defense is
him. It's just
pretty
more
good.
the pettiness he is with who he throws to. Like he just threw all his targets at Devontae. Now he threw some to Watson, missed it, and then didn't target him again. It was just, it's just very petty like that, A-Rod sometimes.
Yep. All right, we'll get to the picks. So for me, I've actually gone the under on that game. I think the Packers defense is actually pretty good. I know they couldn't contain JJ, but I don't think Fields is going to be, throwing too many, good passes anyway with, how shit their O-line is and the options he has anyway. So I think they can contain them a bit, the run game, and then them themselves, I think they'd have to score like 30 plus, in my opinion, really, to get the over in this. So I've gone with the under. The Saints, Tom?
Yeah, I reckon the Saints usually play very well against Tampa, even when TB's been with them as well. I reckon Tampa looked pretty average against Dallas in that game as well, considering the whole circumstances of it. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy to take the Saints with the points there in that game.
Yep. The Lions, Dan, at home.
Yeah. I was quite impressed by the Lions actually against Philly. They were very, very competitive and showed they could put up points in a bunch. And the Commanders, look, they got the win, but it wasn't super convincing. The Jags could have easily won that game, but the Lions were in that game with Philly, who's easily going to be a playoff team this year. So I think the Lions are pretty nice at that sort of at home as well. So I think they might scrape a win, even a field goal.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Yep. And then Scotty and Bex against each other here with the first pick.
You're going down, Scotty.
I'll say what I did. So for the Panthers, I wasn't sold on the Giants win. I don't know. They've had like a couple of big plays. So Saquon obviously had the massive run. Sterling had the massive touchdown as well.
It was actually, Scotty, I'll jump in, the only team to have a 65-yard reception and a 65-yard rush. So, that definitely helped us.
Yeah, and I think even towards the end, the Titans really butchered it with their field goal and their play at the end. So I think, they're a bit lucky there. The other thing is, I think I saw a stat, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think Danny Dumps at home is much worse on the road for whatever reason. I don't know if he gets cracked under the pressure. So this one's just a bit of fading Danny Dimes. If they win, I might probably start betting with them, but I reckon go against the Giants and see if they prove otherwise.
Yeah. All right, Bex?
Yeah, so I'm a bit on the opposite. I actually really liked what I saw from the Giants. I mean, a bit of hard and a bit of good coaching goes a long way sometimes. So they got themselves right out of a big hole. They actually have an aggressive coach who's willing to take risks and try and win the game. And I think just sack back just makes such a big difference to their offense. Their defense is solid. It's not great by any means, but it's good enough. The problem's always been the offense, and sack back makes everything different for that offense. So I think they'll be a bit better. The Panthers are still pretty damn bad. So I'm not massively confident on it, but we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Three of us have also gone for the Bills with our second pick, -9.5 at home to the Titans. I think I'll just off the back of that Titans game, I was already down them on the year. I think, we had them as unders on their win total, regressing quite a bit. And they didn't look too great to me, in that game. So I think the Bills just at home can, home opener can absolutely spank them really, and 10 points I don't think is too hard for the Bills with a really good defense and a really good offense. So I'm just really confident in them.
Yep.
The Chiefs, Tom?
Yeah, I was really impressed with them last week, considering I was not really against them, but I just had the points with the Cards. I think at home, they lost to them last year as well. So I think the Chiefs will definitely be wanting to make amends for that. Reckon it's to be pretty high scoring. So the line was 3.5 earlier in the week, which is what I did take. Now it's gone to 4.5, which is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I reckon the Chiefs are looking pretty good this year, especially on offense. So confident on them to cover the line.
Yep, man. Scotty's gone back to the Jags, mate.
Yeah, I know. It's a strange one. I lost. It's my only loss last week. The reason I'm going through it is I'm also, the thing that I profited off last week was betting against the Colts. So, and the record that Jags have, I think it is the last 7 times they've played at Jacksonville, the Jags have beaten the Colts. And I think the last 13 times against the spread, the Colts are 1-12 against the Jags. So I think that in terms of record, it's the worst team, a bit of a bogey team for the Colts. So I'm hoping at home that actually Trevor Lawrence has a bit of composure. Their record on the road last year was disgusting. So I'm hoping at home they come together. 4.5 is pretty generous as well. So yeah, I'm backing in the Jags to beat the Colts. A bit of what JT worries me, but yeah, Matty Ryan doesn't worry me at all.
Yeah, geez, if that stat hasn't made the segment, then geez, we're in for a good one.
How good's the start of the week?
And then we're speaking about the Bills. So my lock, I was umming and ahhing between two here.
It's an interesting one.
It is an interesting one. Nothing really stands out to me. I think it's a tough week. There's a few big lines that I don't agree with, but I don't really want to take the other teams on the other end of them. As we said, a lot of low totals for the total points. So I wanted to go under on the Cards and Raiders because I think, as Tom saw, the Cardinals struggle quite a bit. They might get Rondale Moore back, but I watched the Raiders struggle a bit as well. So I thought maybe I'll go the under there, but I've decided to go the Browns against the Jets. I just think they have the overall better roster. Jacoby actually didn't look too bad in that game. As long as they get the run game going, I think the Jets will still take a little bit to get on and get into this season. It is a decently big line, a touchdown, but I think the Browns can do it at home as well. So I've gone with them. The Ravens, Tom.
Yeah, so they were a Super Bowl pick. They were pretty impressive week one. They just got business done there against the Jets. So not that was anything too impressive, but now they're back at home. Dolphins on the road, Tua on the road. I'm not really sold on what the Dolphins are doing at this stage. So pretty happy to take the Ravens minus 3.5 there. I reckon they're really lining up for a big year.
Danny, just going for that 2018 match, was it, where it was like 50 all or something? Oh, that was a Rams, wasn't it? But
that was the Rams.
That was the Rams.
You need the big touchdowns here.
Yeah, look, I think this one sort of speaks for itself. I mean, Paddy threw for 5 last week. Looked like who the hell was Tyreek Hill? Like he didn't even need him. It was very, very impressive. Herbert obviously started off a bit slow. They still scored 24. But I think second game in, they're both probably warmed up now. Him losing Keenan will probably hurt a little bit. But in saying that, Mike Williams was targeted like once or twice. So I reckon he'll be due for a big game. Chiefs defense isn't that great. And I think Paddy can tear up any sort of defense. So I think big line at 54. But I think both these two boys easily could cover this.
They're both sort of spreading out the targets, aren't they? Both of them.
Yeah.
Like Paddy was to a few different blokes. Even Herbert was going to like your Carter and Josh Palmer probably get a few more targets this week. So yeah, I can definitely see it. And Scotty's just sticking with the dogs. He's sticking with the dogs.
Yeah. So like Tom said before, I think it's a really good matchup for the Saints. In terms of records, I think Brady, since arriving at Buccaneers, is 0-4 against the Saints. It's his worst team against the spread as well. And then
didn't they beat him in the playoffs? So
yeah, so in regular season. So it's like
okay, yeah.
So 0-4. Then I think it's he won the only playoff one.
He won.
Sean Payton era though.
What?
Only Sean Payton's been coach. Now it's completely different. So just saying.
That's right. And then the other one is I think they've had a lot of difficulty with injuries. So I've looked on their injuries things. I think Godwin's out this week. all three of their starting wide receivers haven't trained at all this week. So I think it's Julio.
I don't think Evans did either, did he?
Yeah, Evans.
The old men need their
Evans.
rest. They're fine.
Yeah,
They're just resting.
So, I just think against their O-line, I think the Saints at home as well. I think it's their only. I think the other stat was, I think it's their only game they've been underdogs at home in the last 15 years for their opening game. So, I think it's a bit of value. So I'll be taking that.
God, he pulls him out, doesn't he? Pulls him
out of
nowhere. Low total here, Bex, but still liking the
It
under.
is a low total, but the Pats offense is an utter disgrace, and then the Steelers offense isn't much better. I mean, they were only really scoring because Joe was causing turnovers. They got the pick six. They got a couple of really short fields off the turnovers. So, two really bad offenses, two really good defenses. So hopefully it's a sort of 14-14 game.
Yeah, I do like that one as well. I looked at that, but you've already took it. So let's see if we can improve, boys, because I don't want to come here next week and
more
look at those
green,
records.
less red.
Let's have the green.
But we have to quickly look at some more red, because what the hell were you guys thinking?
I was unlucky. Well, Wandale got injured. He was actually
he's heading towards a touchdown, was he?
He had the first reception of the game, so I was like, yeah, let's go. So look, I'm going to victory lap here. Was the wrong thing.
Jalen could have had literally one or two more as well. Handed off to Swift and
4 individual.
Yeah, that's right. So,
who said that he was stealing it? Who was stealing it last week?
That's Scott.
I don't know.
Yeah, nice work, idiot.
How you stealing it now?
Sorry, Sanders and Gainwell scored, and so I was anyway.
Boston Scott.
What Kamara, that was a weird one too. What happened there? But
anyway, that's what I mean. He apparently had a rib injury, and Taysom just took all the carries, which is weird. But
all right, we've gone a bit safer this week, and we've got the running back fight. So, I think Mixon can score against the Cowboys in that game. Trav, Tom, you could have had a touchdown week one.
Because he dropped one, and then he had another opportunity. He was getting a lot of those short yardage type carries. So, and they're against the old Commanders. So I definitely think he's going to be getting his chance there. So, I reckon that's money.
Yep, Swifty Danny looked unreal. So, I think he'd be pretty confident there.
Yeah,
they just want to kill us.
Why is
want to kill us
with the King?
Look, I reckon he's going to bounce back, boys.
I've been burnt too many times.
How short is this going to be? It's going to be like $1.50 or something.
No, it's $2. That's what I think. Over $2. He scored 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games against the Bills. I think he's a good record against the Bills. I think he's got 70 carries in his last 4 games. I feel like, I feel like he's either going to bounce back or he's just going to be slowly trailing down.
Are you hedging your bets? Are you trading him out in sports deck, but then putting him in the multi just so you can?
You dog.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trading him out. I haven't said I'm trading him out. I said I'm expecting a big game this week. I'm back.
You better be holding him.
No, I'm holding.
And Eckler, Bex, were you worried about the use?
So I think I am a little bit worried about the usage in terms of pure fantasy, but he had every goal line touch. He had all 4, and then in the short yardage he was 7 of 9. So I think he still has the touchdown role, and as Dan had, this is going to be a high scoring game. A lot of people are going to be scoring touchdowns, so I'm hopeful Eckler is one of them.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that's all the bets. Now we've got some of the boys segments. So first up is Danny D. All right, mate, here we got on the passing touchdowns.
So, annoyingly, not many of these markets are up, but I think these, I'd like to think, are pretty good. Russ at 2, I think, was unlucky against the Seahawks. They had plenty of chances to score. I don't know, I can't remember the stat that I sent you boys, was 10 red zone snaps for 1 field goal. That just won't happen again. Especially against who the Broncos
Texans at home.
Yeah, that's right. So I think Russ bounced back in this game. A little bit less pressure than playing at Seattle. Joey against the Cowboys, I think, again, is, he was crap against the Steelers and still managed to get 2 passing touchdowns. Patty and Joe will probably just sling it out together. I think Paddy just 2. I mean, I could even easily take 4 or 5. 2 is just a safe sort of bet. And Stafford did throw to Cooper Cup early and get that early first one. And I think Rams against the Falcons, I reckon he'll just find him. Hopefully he finds A-Rob as well. So at $1.62, I'm pretty happy with that one. So don't have any odds for you at the moment, but we'll post it later on when we get the markets up. But this is what I'm going with this week. I was pretty unlucky last week. Brady missed out by 1. So
yes,
tough there.
And we'll tweet him because we did end up putting a bet on where you didn't have Brady in it. So
yes,
we're not going to show it because we didn't put it out there, but we will tweet him. So follow us on Twitter. I'll link it all in the description.
Yeah. So this is what I'm going with this week. Hopefully the boys we can get a dub and get the ball rolling. And once we hit some momentum, we'll start getting some wins.
Yeah. All right, time for a new segment here. We got the Bexes straight from the Chrome.
I'm coming straight from the dome. I'm coming straight from the dome.
Look, the line. Look, I don't know why.
We've got the
hat on as well.
Yeah,
oh, my screen.
Put it back.
Glare.
My eyes.
God, give me the SpongeBob meme.
Everything was out last week on Thursday, so we decided Thursdays would be out. Yeah, we might have to do Sunday night, boys, if like none of the lines are out. But what have you found?
Most places didn't have lines. Tab was one that did, so we've gone for some player props, and I've gotten a couple of a bit obscure ones here. So first one is Devin Duvernay. He only had about 50% of the snaps, 50% of the passing plays. He ran a route, so it wasn't that much. He only had 4 targets. He just got the headlines because he got the TDs. So we've gone under here on Tab, and for reference, the line's 27 on Neds was the only other one I could find. So I think the under here is good value. Yeah. And then the other one is Zay Jones. So it's sort of gone a bit under the radar with the Christian Kirk signing, but they also signed Zay Jones, and he's basically been step for step with Kirk as their 1 and 2 receiver. He played the same amount of, he ran the same amount of routes, about 90% of the routes. He had 9 targets himself, so I think this one can go over.
Yeah, I was looking at him actually to draft him very late in like the last round.
He's a bit of a sleeper if you got him on the waivers in any sort of deeper leagues.
Sneaky good, yeah. Even towards the end when he was with the Raiders, he was quite good.
Yeah, he really started stepping up, and I think that's what got him the decent contract here for the Jags. So a couple of interesting obscure picks.
I like them.
I like the dude.
I mean, they're line bets, right? So we'll pay.
Yeah, I think they were about $1.80 something each.
Yeah. So it'd be like 3 something,
something like that,
3.50, something like that.
Yep.
Cool. All right, it's time for Scotty's
Reno Satellite. Presented by no one.
Thoughts, Scotty, on the
I like it, mate. It's good stuff. Absolutely good stuff. We obviously last week we had good success with the underdog, so we're 7 out of 10 as we spoke about earlier. So the week, what we're looking at, we're going to be backing underdogs again. So the stat I've got for this week is week 2 underdogs off a straight up loss have gone a 66.7% success rate when the line is +6 or fewer since 2005, and they've beaten the line or the spread by nearly 2 points per game. So the 4 teams that fit the criteria, I've spoken about 2 of them. So the Panthers and Jags, I gave my reasons before. Pretty confident in those ones. The other ones, I reckon we can probably get one more. So probably 2 or 3 out of 4. So it's Jets at Cleveland. The reason you can make a reason for the Jets is because they've got on the road, they're going against Jacoby Brissett, who some might have said is not really proven that much. So Jets potentially. And then my reason for the Cards, who I don't like that much, is it's not double XP weekend this weekend on the COD. So I reckon concentration is going to be pretty good. So if you're backing in that stat, that's a good stat. If you want to look at the double XP weekend versus non-double XP, it's a pretty good stat for you. So check that out.
Does Kyler play 2K? Because that came out this week.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he's just back on the COD. So we'll see how that works. If he wins, I'll be claiming the Warzone stat. If not, he might have been sneakily chucking in a few games before the game. But I'm pretty confident on this one. Underdogs, weeks, I think it was the other stat, weeks 1 to 3 are 55%. The rest of the season, they're only 50%. So it's a 55% increase in the first 3 weeks. So get on the underdogs well you can, guys.
The underbags. No worries.
At least we've got the stat up on the screen this time, so we can actually read it properly.
Yeah.
I can read it. Yeah.
It's easy. He almost butchered the Jets one, but he got there.
All right, we'll move on.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Here we are,
Jano
boys.
Mac.
He's the booty.
Let's go, baby. Look, last week was I can say it was a bit of a tough weekend. Funny part is that I'm pretty sure Bob Peters, the owner of Western Empire, actually has taken that horse back off Danny O'Brien and taken it back to WA, considering that's how bad it went. So I'm not the only one who's disappointed there. This week going a little bit less in terms of the odds. So going a little bit obscure. We've got Newcastle tomorrow. Race 8 Ice Bath. It was 285 when I posted it to the boys, and I have a little bit on, and it's gone into 250. So Tab's obviously seen that the sharps are on it, so they're wound it in. But I think Ice Bath an absolute moral tomorrow. Last two starts was about only a few lengths off Animo. Then last start was against Zaki, stormed home, and only about 2 lengths off Zaki. So racing in Newcastle against some horses that wouldn't even be near that grade, I think absolutely runs in there. And then on Caulfield on Saturday, we have the Guineas Prelude. And so AF Cabin going up to 1,400 metres. It's the perfect setup for the horse. Lost last start to Jacquino, which is looking like one of the better 3-year-old horses in Australia. So I think that there is money as well. So if you want to multi both of those, go for it, but take them single there. And then look, the multi going again for that mortgage maker one. So you've got AF Cabin, who I've just mentioned. Eduardo is looking in the shorts, which is looking like a Everest pretty much prelude there. I think can beat Nature Strip, even though as much as I do love Nature Strip, I think Eduardo at the $4 is worth having in the multi. Top Ranked is a great first up horse, and then Zarastro is the $23 horse to really make the multi come together. So that'll be the last one. So if we're alive with the other 3 and we get to Randwick race 10, geez boys, we'll be absolutely up and about. So throw a few on there and thank me next week. And this segment will be gone in a few weeks if I can't hit it. If I can't hit it,
just need one.
Just end me. But feeling confident.
A bit more realistic this week. The first 2.
Yeah. All right, good boys. That's all the time we have. Let's get back to the main screen. Anyone wants to talk about? I've got down the bottom there. I've started the Twitter account. We'll post some stuff on there. As I said, the bets, and then Dan's got the TikTok runner, mate. How's that going?
Yeah, look, I had a few comments already, but I think it was actually Tom. So, look, not a good start.
Someone said that they lost their house.
Yeah, if it's you, I'm quite happy. But we'll bounce back. It's been rough. I wasn't too far off. Niners costed me obviously in that multi, and Rams, no comment there. But I'll keep it going. We'll get some tips going. If there's anything else we have that we missed out, we'll post on there as well. So yeah,
just quickly, Brownlow.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yes.
Does anyone have a quick tip of who they think's going to win?
Oh,
I know,
very
very
tight
spot there.
I think if you want to go for it at $9, I've in my one because I always do a Brownlow where I do my votes. Clary and Neil to draw $9. Just chuck a tenner on it. Thank me later.
The tenner, oh geez, the big money. I
think you're that confident in the account that you've got
he's got
both of them going to be exact.
I am.
How many votes did they finish on, Scott?
29, I think it is.
Yeah.
So have they tied on 29? Come back to this podcast. You're welcome.
Okay.
I think Neil wins it at his value. I think Clary and Petrarca just take votes off each other. Lockie Neal's just been consistent over the year for the Lions, so I think he just probably wins it.
Lions just don't have many others that are any good.
Yeah, no.
Bit of a one-man show.
Maybe Cripps.
I reckon Clary wins.
Yeah, I'm going for Clary.
Yeah, I'd be happy.
Hope he
with
does
that,
anyway.
I just think Neil gets the votes.
He's by far been the better of the two. And who do we reckon makes the grand final?
Swans and Cats.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go with
Cats
that
and
chalk as
pies.
well.
I reckon the Pies upset them.
Ooh,
I reckon the Pies, they're
okay.
just good. They're just a good team. No matter how many times you sort of doubt them and think that they're not going to be
the
be
biggest
there.
doubter.
Yeah, me, I was. I had 500 on the Cats, or
Yeah, I know.
400, and look, I was
Sweating it
sweating
out.
my absolute balls off because they're
How
bloody
many
good,
times
the
in the
Pies.
chat were you asking for? Oh, should I cash out here?
Cash out.
Ride that baby.
So, so definitely, I reckon the Pies can upset them. And plus,
Yeah.
I think the Swans are better at the G. I actually think they're a better
Yes.
team at the G
Yeah.
than they are at the
Yes.
SCG.
Their game style with the counter attack is
So
very
much
much
better.
suited to the larger grounds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If the Swans get
So-
there, I'd probably take the Swans to win it all.
Yeah,
Cash
I've
them.
gone the
Mhm.
Swans. I think they're just a better version of Collingwood, pretty much. I think
Mm.
they have more talent. They play a similar game style. They just have more up and down the field to deal with them. So I'm going with them. And then the Cats.
What,
I
Jack
actually
Crisp
think-
or Callum Mills? Which one would you go with, Benno?
Yeah,
Crisp
that's
or,
kind of my
Crisp or
point.
Mills?
But
Crispy.
I don't know. I think the Cats could lose. Like, they are renowned. This is the time, prelim weekend, Brisbane up and about.
I think it's a bit different this year. I think,
Didn't we
they're-
expect-
I think
yeah,
on
I
their
know.
side they're
We
a
all
bit more
expect that.
prepared, and I think on the other side the competition isn't as good.
We all expect that, but
It's possible.
I'm rooting for it, put it that way. For like the 10th year in a row. All right, that's all we've got time for, boys. Thanks for another edition. Let's hope we can come back next week talking about some
Yeah.
winners.
Green
Yes,
ticks.
let's
go,
That's what we
baby.
want. Green ticks.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.